For $79, the Valeton GP5 is honestly kind of a miracle. It completely changed the game for what budget gear can do. It's tiny, it's powerful, and I really love it. In my last video I showed you how good this little box just can sound using NAMM tones. But spending more time with these little units actually got me thinking about the future. And more specifically, what the next step just should look like. Some people just ask me about the GP50 review, and yes, of course, I will share my thoughts on the next video, for sure. It makes sense, right? But today I just want to zoom out a bit, because I'm putting together a 2026 wish list, and these are the 5 changes that would make it really hard for me to ever move away from Valeton. So let's start with the big one, special for recording musicians. The USB recording issue. So I got a comment recently and that really nailed this. Some users try recording with the GP5 and said, I hear a constant dry signal that I can't just turn off. And they're right. On the budget units, you were often stuck with always-on direct monitoring. So if you're using plugins in your DAW or even just monitoring the wet signal, you still hear the pinky dry guitar underneath. It messes with your head, and worse, it can cause phase issues in the mix. So Valeton, these units already double as an audio interface, and that's just a huge selling point. But to make it the best experience ever, we need an option to mute direct signal. Just give us a simple toggle in the global settings, direct monitoring off. We would love this small firmware tweak. I don't know how hard it is to implement it, but it would be a magical moment. So if you just enjoy this kind of content, just hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next tones. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. The NAMM quality gap. So people ask me all the time, why can't I turn the cap off with NAMM files? Why do captures sound different on the GP5 than they do on my computer? Here's the technical reality. When you load an NAMM file, Valeton just converts into their internal snap-tone format. And because the GP5 just uses a smaller processor in comparison with the PC, 3 things happen. First, dynamic range reduction. The model is simplified just to fit the chip. The second, high-frequency smoothing. So the top end just gets filtered just to save CPU. And the third, lower reduction. The neural data is literally downscaled, just a bit, not a scandal, okay? Nothing dramatic. Hold on your horses, hold on your horses, hold on your horses. So, if you A/B them like I have, the GP200 is still the king. It simply has more DSP headroom, the tone doesn't choke as much as it does on the GP5. I think it's important to clarify this. Right now, there is no multi-effects guitar pedal capable of reproducing the full spectrum of an NAMM file the same way a modern computer can. Simply just because PCs just have more DSP power. So Valeton, I know that I'm asking for a lot here. These are wishes for a future flagship, but I would just love to see true desktop class DSP. Someday. Someday. Gapless switching, or more accurately, lack of it. Just listen to this. So you see that? The delay trails dies the instant I switch patches. If I'm playing a worship set, an ambient gig, or even just a live looping performance, I really need smooth transitions without just that silence between sections. I also understand that features like Spillover aren't always easy to implement, especially on affordable multi-effects units with real DSP limits. I know that. But that said, if the GP200 is positioned as a pro unit, even at a very accessible price, Spillover just would go a long way in real-world use. And honestly, I would love to see it implemented on the GP5 and the GP50 if possible. Your amps are great, your drives are solid, your reverbs and delays, they're good and functional, and they work just perfectly for classic rock. But for modern players, the showgaze ambient post-rock route we just need a little bit of more textures. We need a shimmer that tracks beautifully. We need cloud reverb that feels wide and lush, not metallic and thin. So right now I just need an external pedal for big ambient sounds, not for all, of course. Don't take me wrong, these units already just do a lot. This is just an opportunity to reach an even wider group of players. Point number 5, patch organization. Okay, so everything just works fine as it is. But once you start creating lots of presets or loading NAMM captures, that long list just gets crowded pretty fast. So for the future, it would be just amazing to have simple folders or tags. Nothing dramatic, just an easier way to group tones and move faster both on stage and in the studio. This already works, but this would really smooth out the workflow as these units just keep evolving, right? So, Valeton, you gave us the GP100, you gave us the GP200, you gave us the game-changing GP5, and a great step forward with the GP50, and now give us the perfection. Fix the spillover, upgrade the reverbs, give us a flagship level DSP for NAMM, and better patch organization. What's your number 1 request for Valeton? Drop in the comments. And as always, just grab my free presets below, along with the affiliate links for Valeton pedals in the description. I'll see you in the next one.